day I would go live and we would play around making some ephemera for junk journals. Let me move my mat just a little bit here, my paper forward, so you'll be able to hopefully see everything I'm doing. That's my guide to know where everyone can see. I know you got a little bit of a view of all my mess around as well. I hope you enjoy this. So let's just get started with some plain old papers. I've got like some of this from one of my other videos, the tea bags that I watercolored. I've got some vellum that's been tea dyed that we're going to use. I've got some tags. I've got some little decoupage paper that I ordered from Amazon. Tea bags, tickets from parking, just anything you've got laying around that is junk you can use. But I think today we'll just start with a piece of this vellum. And I'm not going to use this entire piece. We'll just cut it, let's say, in half. It's about 5 inches, so we'll go at about 2.5. And we'll just cut it in half, and we'll use one of these pieces as a base just to glue some other fun things onto, like maybe this piece of paper, because it's just goes perfect with this. But let's add some stamped images to it first, to this piece here. Let's use Stampin' Up's Notes of Nature, which is what I used on this paper here. And let's go ahead and just pick, maybe we'll stamp some leaves onto that, and that'll be perfect. Let me grab a good green ink. I think we'll go with Old Olive. That's like one of my favorite Stampin' Up colors. We'll use that one for this. Grab a block. Just make sure everything's stamping good before you stamp on your paper. And I'll just add that little leaf right there in the corner, and I think that's perfect. I'm not going to clean this yet because we may use it again for another piece. And I think I'm just going to lay it kind of diagonally on here, but I'm not going to glue it yet. Let's see what else we want to add to it first. I've got some really cute butterflies punched out over here. So let's pick one. And these are just things that I've die cut before, and I've just made stacks of them because I figure they would be cute to use for other things. And I think I will go with this yellow florally one here. I think that one's cute. That will go cute with this. Just hook them back together so I don't throw them all across everywhere. We'll maybe put that up in the corner. We've got some cute little wooden pieces here. And these ones are just hearts. Let's grab a heart. That will be cute on there. And let's just start gluing these couple of things, and then we can go back and add some more when we're ready. Now I'm just going to use some plain Tombow multi-liquid glue. And I just put it in this bottle because I like the way this comes out. So we just need a little bit on this piece because it's going right across here. And I do think I want that butterfly over there in that corner instead of over here. And now this little wooden heart, of course they're so thin, so you just got to be careful when you're, because you'll end up with glue on your fingers like I already have, but I've got some wipes handy so we can, we'll just drop him right there, wipe the glue off my fingers real quick. And then just press him down so he stays. We don't want to make sure he doesn't come off from there. Now I've got some punches out, just some different punches, and I think maybe this bow punch will be good, but I don't think I'm going to like use green paper for this. I think I'm going to grab some deco paper and see what we have in here. And this deco paper that I ordered from Amazon is just really thin. So it's got different different images and different things, and let's pick one that some of them you can see they've already, it looks like it's a layered piece of something. Let's just find a good one to punch some leaves out of. Maybe we'll use this floral one. I'll flip it over this way. And then that's still cute. You can use that on something else with that punched out. That can actually kind of slide into under the heart there, or maybe under the piece over here. I think I'm just going to slide it in under the heart a little bit. And we'll grab that glue again. And now whatever you have at home, just use that. It's not, it doesn't all have to be things that you've bought. Like I said, I bought these deco papers on Amazon. You can use magazine sheets. You can use whatever you want, really. Just to add little pieces here and there. We'll add this little one over here, but I'll just put a little bit on the stem for that glue. And we'll kind of set it next to the other leaf that's there. Now we can add stickers, we can add postage stamps, we can add even some of this paper to it, which might be nice, especially with that little bit of yellow. But what I think I will do is maybe just rip a piece off from this. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, she's ripping paper. But it's perfect just to put a little bit down here. You don't need a lot of glue for that. And that'll kind of slide under that edge of the heart just a little bit, not a lot. And then you could always add more to this, but I think I like this piece just like this, just to put onto a journal page somewhere. And you could use this area for journaling if you like. Obviously you don't have to, but you could. So there's one super quick, easy piece of ephemera that's just not hard to make. It doesn't take a lot. As you can see, it only took a few little things, but it's just something that's ready to go, and I can put it in a little bin somewhere and have it ready to go. Now this is from, obviously, some tea that I had, and instead of cutting or ripping the top off or whatever, I just cut a little slit in the bottom to get the tea bag out so I could use this entire piece just like this. And I think we're going to use this with a tag. I love these tags that are that manila color or vanilla, whatever you want to call it, like a manila envelope. So we're going to use that, and we're also going to use some stamps again because I want this teacup from the Everyday Details stamp set on here, because I want to color that teacup in. Let's get that out. I haven't even used this stamp set yet, so I don't even have the stickers on them yet. And we'll stamp it with Memento ink because I want to color it in, like I said. So I'm debating if I want to actually stamp it maybe partially on this tea bag. Let's try it and see what happens. We might not have to worry about coloring all of it in. We can just color maybe the flowers or something. Make sure I've got enough ink on that. And I'm going to set this on a foam mat just to make sure, hopefully I get a good impression, because this is kind of crinkly from being tea dyed. Let's see how that turns out. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Look at that. Love that, stamping directly on that tea bag. I wasn't sure how that would turn out, but it turned out good. I got it a little bit crooked on there, but that doesn't matter. We're just making ephemera. It doesn't have to be all straight and perfect. Let's do a little bit of coloring. I at least want to get the flower colored in. So let's do that in Highland Heather. And this is, make sure the ink is dry. I'm going to do this just to make sure, rub it on there, and then if ink comes off, you know it was still a little bit wet, but it wasn't. And I did grab a really soft green. This is Mint Macaron Light. Not sure if it's going to color good over this part right here because that leaf is printed on that burgundy color there, but we'll color it anyway just because we can. And then I think that's it. I don't think I want to color the whole cup in. I think it looks cute just like that. We're going to end up laying it on here. And maybe I've got some little doilies here. These are tiny. Now they're just white, so maybe we'll color the doily in. Or use, actually, let me use some of this Distress Oxide Vintage Photo. And we'll use a blending brush. And we'll just go over that lightly with that to give it a little bit of an aged look. It's almost the color of the tag. Now I could go over this a few more times and make it darker, but I think I'll just leave it like that. I think it looks cute. And it does kind of blend in, but we'll have it hang off the side a little bit. And we'll add something to it. Maybe we'll stamp something on that as well. Maybe the little bird's nest would be cute stamped on that, or maybe we'll just do those leaves again that we just used in the old olive. Let's do that. Let's stamp these leaves again. And we'll just stamp it not on the entire doily. We're going to kind of stamp off on the edge. So it's got something stamped on it there, but not the entire center of the doily. That looks cute. Let's add, I have some really great pieces of fern leaves that I have put inside a book from last year. I cut them off from some ferns that I had growing, and they have maintained their color, but they're nice and dry and flat. So let's add one of those to this. I think that would add something really cute to this piece of ephemera. Let's glue this on first, just with a little bit on the side. We've got our doily hanging off. And then let's think about bringing this piece up like this. Now this, I've never just glued a piece of this down. I've always just taken these and put them in pockets or something, but they are kind of fragile. Let's do a couple more leaves. I'm just putting a little dot of glue on these inner parts of the leaves on the back here. Let's just glue that right down like that. And then our tea bag, we're going to keep over here to the side, I think. Yeah, I think this left side is still good. I think that'll be perfect. Now, what else do we want to add to this? I don't want to glue the tea bag down yet until we are ready. I might use one of these little clips, like a silver one. These are some mini library clips that Stampin' Up! Used to sell, and they are adorable. I really like them, but they're not, they don't come in a lot of colors. They're just silver and white. So I've got this other tea stamp. And let me see what words we have in here. We've got tea time, you're my cup of tea. I like this, a hug and a cup. Let's use that one because it will fit right here on the doily. And I'm just going to use Memento to stamp that. I might need a little bit bigger block than this. Let's just use this little one here. This will work. Oh, that's cute with that little hug in a cup on there. And this is a stamp set by Studio Calico. It's called Tea Time. It's just adorable and I like it, so I figured we would use it today. Now let's look through. This little book was another little thing from Amazon or somewhere, I don't remember. It's got all these little images in it, and they're on vellum. So let's punch out this little clock, I think. Let's add a little clock to this. Let me see if I have a, I think the 1 1/4. Look, that will be perfect. We'll just punch that little vellum clock out. Add it in there. Yeah, like right there I think would be cute. If I can keep a hold of it. So I'm going to put a little dot right on that center. Love that little vellum clock. That's so cute. And I think we might as well stick this down. And I'm thinking I'll use some of this adhesive and a little bit of glue just to make sure it stays, since it's kind of crinkly and a little bit thicker than everything else that I put on here. I want to make sure it stays. And then I have some little tea-dyed tea tags that I think we'll put through here. And then we'll tie that on there so that can kind of hang down a little bit. I want to be careful with that piece of fern that I don't break it off at the top. So we've got the little tea tag hanging down. Let's put a little bit of ribbon on here too. Like I've got some cute lace. Let's use a piece of this little lace ribbon. And we'll bring that through. I'm going to leave this little piece of string hanging down too for now, because I'm going to maybe make sure I get it stapled with this ribbon, because I'm going to use a little stapler for this. If I can find my mini stapler, there it is. Of course I can find it. It's right next to me. How could I miss it? I'm trying to see if anyone's watching, and I can't pull up the video on my iPad for some reason. It doesn't work the way I want it to. So we've got that little bit of ribbon added on. We've got our tea bag, we've got our little clock, we've got our hug in a cup, and of course this is just going to be free flowing, moving around a little bit there, that tag. And maybe we need like a little heart or something here. Let me see if I have any little heart stamps close by. Actually, there's one in this. So we can use this little heart. Let me grab some pink or some red. Maybe Calypso Coral will be good. I think Calypso Coral will be perfect. Let's use that. Cute, just add that little heart there. And maybe we'll do one up here. And we can even do one at the bottom. Or maybe just on the tea. There, we'll just do one on the tea bag itself. That's perfect. Love that. So there's our second piece of ephemera, just using little things that you have at home already. Other than this that was bought, I had well, I mean, I had these, but a lot of these are just, again, junk. Just use that junk to make little ephemera pieces. All right, let's go with something different. Let's start with this punch, which I don't remember what it's called, but it's a wavy circle punch from Stampin' Up. And let's start with just a piece of scrap paper, and maybe we'll get something with some, let's do some of this floral paper. I just keep scraps of things so I can use them for obviously different things like this. But we'll start with this, and we'll add a couple of things to it and make it another little piece of ephemera that can be just thrown in your junk journal whenever you're ready. It's nice to have little pieces ready to go. Like I said earlier, let's use this. I believe it's called an ampersand. Let's use this one on top. Again, just some things that I've already had pre-cut. And I did lots of different, I did book pages and other different scrapbook paper. Let's grab a postage stamp. Let's grab something fun. Let's see what we got in here. Soil conservation, range conservation. I mean, it really doesn't matter what stamp we use. Just get something. Let's do the soil conservation because I like the colors in that one. And I'm dropping little pieces everywhere, but that's all right. And it's kind of hard to see that. So let's use some of that Distress Vintage Photo just around the edges. And I think I'm going to use a little bit on this stamp, even though it's clearly an older stamp. We're just going to give it a little more distressing because we can. Oh, and then I was going to put this clip on that last piece of ephemera, so let's use it on this one instead. Got our and, we've got our stamp. We've got, let's bring out another bucket of just miscellaneous things. Let's bring this little piece out. That can actually, that will be a nice fun background for that. So let's glue this down to start with. And then we've got our other pieces. We're just going to lay here until we figure out exactly if that's where we want them. I kind of like the idea of just clipping this stamp down with, if I can get a hold of this clip. Oh my goodness. It's going to just give me a hard time because I'm right-handed and I'm trying to do that with my left hand. And it's just slipping every time I try to grab it. Alright, we'll just clip. These clips don't open real far, but just enough to get that stamp clip down. And then we can add, we'll wait to add glue to it until we know if we're going to put anything underneath it. I mean, we've got these cute flowers. Maybe we'll add a couple of flowers on here. We'll keep that color scheme going. And we can stamp maybe with some Calypso Coral, something on here. Let's figure out what we're going to stamp. Maybe we'll go with some crosshatch. We'll give it a little bit of crosshatch. Make sure it's stamping good before we use it. We'll just come across this side, move my flowers out of the way. So we've kind of gone over that craft paper and a little bit onto that floral paper as well. And then we can add maybe something from this little stack of paper. It's kind of big. Yeah, maybe we'll use that little piece right there. We'll just add it in right there, right at the top. again, this is all about just putting it together. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be what someone else would do. Just make it something that you like. And we'll stick our and symbol kind of over here so it hangs off a little bit. We will use, this is kind of like glossy accents. It's just shimmery crystal glue is what it's called. And we'll put our 2 flowers down here. And I like using that for little pieces like this that are like the hard plastic. It'll hold them down easier. We'll put a little bit of glue underneath our postage stamp to make sure it stays, even though it's clipped, just in case. And I think that's a nice little piece of ephemera right there. So that's our 3rd one. How cute is that? Just simple. And that would be good to put on a cover because it's got, you know, it's a little bit chunkier. But if you like having your album really chunky, which they kind of get that way when you are making things, you know, it will show up for you. So let's put that there. Let's grab, what do we want to start with this time? Let's start with a paper clip, because paper clips are fun because then you can make something on them and clip it onto something else. So I know I have some pieces in here, and these were die cut from paper bags, just crinkled old paper bags. And I think if we just put this through here, we can fold it over, and then we have a good portion here hanging down. So let's just put a little bit of glue. Once we slide that paper through, put a little bit of glue right there and bend this over, flip it over, whatever you want to call it, so it's glued down. And then we'll add things to it here. Now, I think I want to stamp something on that again. And let's do, I really like those leaves, but I don't know if I want to do the leaves again, but I kind of do. Let's do the leaves again. Why not? These are all just going to be used in my journals eventually, and I know I like these leaves, so we'll just go off the side on the left with those leaves. And then we'll go on the bottom a little bit too. So there'll be some leaves on there, and we may end up covering it with stuff, so let's put a couple on this side too. So we've got it stamped with some leaves first. And then I have another thing that I smashed and let dry. These have been drying for like a year, so got these little purple flowers, and I don't want to use that entire piece because it's really long, so I'm just going to cut it off. They have a little bit of their purple color left, but not a lot. You can see there's a little bit, but we'll use them anyway. And why? Because we can. Let's grab something that I used in a video yesterday, but I had already removed them from this. This is just a roll of tickets that you can buy like at Staples or wherever, and you can use the tickets. The fun thing is you can use the back and decorate the back, which I think is what we're going to do today. We're just going to use that vintage photo again, and we're going to color this in first, so it's not just plain white. We might as well color the back while we're at it, just in case we end up folding it or something. I don't know what we're doing with it yet. We'll stamp something on there that's cute. Let me grab some other stamps because I don't think I want to do the tea thing again. Let's just do a fun little I don't think that'll fit. That's a little too big. Maybe here's the story. Let's stamp that on that. No, let's do this. This just says story number 2, and it's just a little stamp. I don't think I want something big stamped as far as, I'll flip it this way and put this at the top of the ticket. It says story number 2. Let's grab this Love This Moment stamp set. Has this cute little floral stamp in it. And let's stamp some flowers on there and color them in. They will look adorable. We'll stamp those again in Memento because I'm using those alcohol inks, and you want Memento if you're using alcohol inks. So I haven't done the entire ticket with it, but just enough. Let's color in. We're going to use some of those same colors that I just used. But let's start with getting those leaves colored in that mint macaron. Because I just kind of wanted to go with pastel-y colors for coloring today. And so this mint macaron was perfect for the leaves. We've got more than one flower here. We've got some little tiny flowers and some bigger flowers. So let's go with Balmy Blue for the tiny flowers, which you can't really tell much difference between those and the mint macaron with the way this is coloring, but we're going with it anyway. And then we'll use the Highland Heather again for these other flowers. You can see there's a little bit in the center there that needs to be done with some yellow. But I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference because we did the you can see it a little bit, not a lot, but that's good. And there's a stem here, so I'll go ahead and use that mint macaron and get the stem on this side and the stem on this side. So then that's colored in. We can add something else to the bottom here in a minute, but let's just keep it like this for now. That's going to get glued on over here maybe. I seem to go to the left with gluing things on. And then we'll have that little stem coming out. We don't want to get it too far up here because we want to be able to clip this into something. So you don't want to put too much. Maybe we can find a cute little, no, let's not do a butterfly this time. Let's do, I've got these feathers. I've got some in vellum. I've got some in that. That's that same color that I used for that butterfly before, but let's do one that's cut with some words on it. Let's use one of those ones. And we'll leave it just like that. We aren't going to add any extra color to it. Kind of goes the same direction as the floral piece. So let's see if we like that feather or not, or if we want to use something different. I don't know if I like that. Unless we have it coming down. And we can add our little floral in. Let's do that. All right, a little bit of glue on the bottom part of this feather. It's going to kind of go over this tag a little bit. And then we can glue these down. The nice thing with the glue is once you get it on there with the vellum, it kind of dries see-through. Not 100%, but pretty close. Then we can add our little flowers on there. And again, I'll just put little dots to try and hold these flowers down, and hopefully they won't fall apart on me. Because again, they're dried flowers, they're natural, they're not really meant for this type of thing. But we all know we've seen them used for this type of thing. So let's just glue those little guys down. And let me just take a block and set that on there for a few seconds to kind of dry that while we figure out if there's anything else we want to put onto this piece, or if we want to leave it like this. We do have some more of this that's left over. Maybe we can rip out this little yellow floral and add that to it somewhere. That might be cute. Might be cute, might not. We'll see. Got my fan going, so this paper is so light it just kind of blows around. I don't know. Let's rip it some more. Let's take some off from it. There we go. Maybe we'll have it come up from behind that tag a little bit over here on this side. Just put a little glue under that tag, and so it's kind of glued to this tag, and then we'll put a little bit under here so it's glued to the paper bag as well. It's kind of hard to see. Let me pull that up. Got that. Now we could add like some, you can always add like little gems or little embellishments, any other kind of little embellishments to it as well to make it sparkly if you want. I've got some little flowers here, some little wooden flowers. Maybe we'll add a wooden flower on there. Let me see if there's a tinier one. I like that tinier one better. We'll just add that little tiny flower on there. And now the little wooden pieces hold good with just this regular Tombow glue. You don't have to use anything super special. Add him on there, love it. And there's our fourth piece of ephemera. How cute is that? And then you would just clip it onto something like a tag or a page. Love that. All right, and let's do one more. Let's figure something out here. I want to use one of these butterflies for something. So let's get another piece of ephemera made. I don't know if I'm going to use this little tag for anything, but maybe we can use this paper. He kind of blends in. Let's see if there's something that's a little that's kind of cute. So it's not really floral, but it's still got some nature stuff on it there. And there's also, let's see how these sunflowers look. I love these sunflowers. Let's add him to the sunflower page. We'll put him up in this corner. And this was cut from a dictionary page, I believe, an old dictionary. The butterfly, that is. The ephemera, or the decoupage paper just came from Amazon with, you know, the other stuff. Let's see if we've got, oh look, I have a butterfly stamp. We could maybe add that on there. Or a floral stamp. Another floral stamp. Let's go with the butterfly theme on this. We'll add a butterfly stamp on there somewhere. He's a little bit sticky, so he just kind of stuck down. Even though we're not quite ready for that to happen. We'll use another piece of this tea bag that I watercolored during one of my last videos. It's a note, it's a card if you want to go back and watch that video to see how I did this. Super easy. Anyone can do it. Let's put that little piece right there. It kind of blends in, which is nice. And then we've got our little, I want to kind of color over that to make it not quite so white. So let's get that vintage photo out again. Now that's going to have to dry for a second because when I just touched it with my finger, I got ink on my finger because that stamp was a little shiny. So we'll let that dry a little bit. Then we can grab, I've got one of these tickets that I tea dyed at one point. I think we'll add that to this. Maybe we'll do it this way so you can still read the admit one. We will stamp a little heart on that because it's will look cute with a little heart on it. On the ticket, I mean. I'm going to put a little heart on that ticket. And maybe we'll add that crosshatch on here as well. But let's use a different color. So let me clean this so we can use a different color for the crosshatch. Because I don't want to use that Calypso coral color that I just did with the heart. I want to use probably this vintage photo so it kind of blends in a little bit because we'll come across this area with that crosshatch. Yeah, that looks good. And I don't think we need it anywhere else, so we'll just kind of get some of that ink off right there. That fan keeps flowing everything around. We've got our butterfly hooked down. We've got our little ticket. We've got our other little piece of tea-dyed paper. Let's hook our ticket and our tea-dyed paper down right here. I'm just going to go at the bottom of this ticket. I'm not going to do the top because we may be able to slide something else underneath there, which may be that stamp. And for this, we'll do just a little bit at the bottom of this paper as well for the same reason, in case we want to slide something under there. We want to do, let's do the butterfly right there underneath the edge of that ticket. And then see, I just took a little bit of that ink off with my finger again because it's still a little bit sticky. So let's use that stamp to push it down while we're letting it dry. Or not stamp, but the block, because I want to make sure it stays down. And then I don't think I have anything else that has sunflowers on it anywhere. Let's see. I have some little pieces of maps. That's just too, I don't think I really like that heart. Doesn't quite go with what we're doing here. But maybe we'll stamp smile on there. Let's see if it would look cute with smile. I think that would look cute with smile stamped on there. So let's do that. Let's stamp smile. And let's do that in Memento so in that black memento so it shows up. That looks cute. At least in my opinion. I hope you like it too. I like it. And I think we may leave that one with just those pieces on it for now, because that would be cute once you add that to a page. And you can tuck little things in behind this ticket to hold them in place if you want to. And we can always add more once it's in the book somewhere. All right, let's do just one more. I've got these are tea dyed. These are out of just a little notebook like you buy at Walmart or wherever. Let's just take a piece off from one of those. Got these cute little, which you could journal on this too because it's got lines and it would be easy to journal on, but these cute little papers I think are adorable. Let's see, what's this one? This one says notes. Let's use that one because I like that little thing where it says notes. I've got these pre-stamped, and I've got some dried flowers here too. Maybe we'll use some of those. These are pre-stamped and watercolored from a long time ago. I've had them forever. Let's use one of these pieces. We're just gonna have to fussy cut around it because I didn't save the dies for these. I don't even remember what stamp set this was from. But we'll just fussy cut around it and use it on this because it's nice and bright. And it'll add some good color to this. I'm not going 100% perfect on this by any means. Just kind of going around. Because usually I would get really detailed and go in between these flower petals, but I'm not going to do that today. Not for this one, because this is just going to be for ephemera in a book, in a junk journal. So I don't feel the need to do all that with the fussy cutting. Not today. But I am going to, I think, tie a small piece of twine or something around the bottom of these flowers because that would be a cute little addition to that. So let me grab some linen thread. And we'll just cut a piece off. And we'll wrap it around a few times. And then we'll just tie it, not in a bow, just a little knot. We'll cut just a little bit off. And we can figure out, we kind of want those flowers going on top because they're kind of a focal point here. And I just did a little bit on the bottom there, so you can always tuck something in behind. So like if you had more flowers, you could put them back there if you want to. Let's just glue these down right there. Get this out of the way. Maybe we'll add one of these dried flowers. Again, just something out of my garden that I decided to try and put in between wax paper is what I do. I put them in between wax paper and then just flatten them out and just see how they turn out. Sometimes the flowers have lost their color before. Sometimes they just don't dry right. I also put them inside, like a book, inside of a box, and then use some of the little Let me see if I have any of these little silica gel packs in there, because that just takes the moisture out. So I just throw those in the box with it, so that can help take the moisture out of them so they don't like get moldy. So that's just a little helpful hint from Val for that. Let's add, I don't know if I want to, I kind of want to use this punch. It's got a price tag on it still. What's Up is the name of the punch, and it's got these two cute little arrows. So let's punch something so we can have an arrow. That would be cute on here. Let me find. Let's use some of this, and we'll make a little gray arrow. I don't need the big one, really. I just want that smaller one, this one. So we can add that arrow on there. We'll put him up here. He's kind of cute up there. We'll add him up there. And then we've got lots of journaling space here, and you've got a little bit here. Maybe this is where we need our, no, we don't like that feather. Maybe we'll add a piece of this though. We'll rip a little piece of this off. Maybe we won't. I don't know, maybe kind of shoved in there. Yeah, that looks kind of cute. We'll leave it like that, just on the edge. We'll glue it down to that base paper. That adds just a little bit to the back of that. And again, I really love this paper. This tea bag that just, you just have extras to use. These little pieces. Let's add that in there. Still got a piece of it stuck to my finger. And there's our last one. I think that'll be the last one we do today. Let's clear some of this stuff over to the sides so I can just show you, wipe the glue off my fingers a little bit so I can show you what we made today. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope it gave you some inspiration. Let's take this piece off just so we have a clear piece to look at over here. So here's everything we made today. We've got this one, this one. We've got our paper clip one. We've got on our tag here. We've got our tea one, and we've got our very first one. So I hope you enjoyed this. I had so much fun playing with all of this good stuff today. And I hope it gives you some inspiration for pre-making some ephemera for your junk journal albums or anything else that you want to make. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for joining me.